These 5 security camera recordings defy explanation, each capturing a moment where reality frayed and something truly inexplicable unfolded. They aren't just glitches or misinterpretations. They are windows into moments that simply shouldn't exist, leaving behind a cold, lingering question mark in the digital ether. Imagine the quiet chill of a winter night, a solitary figure walking along a dimly lit street, their breath misting in the frigid air. The security camera, mounted high on a building, dutifully records every slow step. The pavement is clear, the alleyways either side are empty. Then, as the person reaches the exact midpoint between 2 lampposts, they simply vanish. Not a quick dash into a doorway, not a sudden sprint out of frame. One moment they are there, a silhouette against the sparse glow. The next, the street is utterly deserted. The footage plays on, showing nothing but the empty street for minutes, then hours. No sound, no trace, just an impossible disappearance that leaves behind a phantom chill. Was it a trick of light, or did the very fabric of space ripple and swallow them whole? Then there's the internal camera, perpetually watching the empty hallways of a closed-down office building. Motion sensors are off, doors are locked, and every window sealed. Yet, at precisely 3:17 a.m., a single, unassuming office chair at the end of a long corridor slides silently forward about 3 feet, then stops. No tremors, no drafts, no visible strings. It simply moves as if guided by an unseen hand. The camera continues to record the perfectly still, empty chair for the next 6 hours until the cleaners arrive. When staff investigate, the chair is exactly where it was found by the morning crew, back in its original position, as if the midnight journey never happened. What invisible force chose that particular moment, that particular chair, to demonstrate its presence, only to meticulously reset the scene? Consider the unsettling intimacy of a nanny cam, capturing the quiet play of a toddler in their bedroom. The child, barely 2 years old, is babbling happily, stacking blocks. Suddenly, their demeanor shifts. Their gaze fixes on a point just beyond the frame. A smile spreads across their face, and they offer a block forward, as if to an invisible playmate. Then the block tumbles, not from the child's grasp, but as if gently tapped from above. The child giggles, picking up another, and the pantomime of shared play continues for several minutes with an empty space. The parents review the footage, searching for a shadow, a reflection, anything that might explain their child's interaction. But the room remains stubbornly empty, the unseen companion leaving no imprint but the child's joyful and unsettling engagement. There are also the recordings from private residences, capturing fleeting intrusions that defy logic. One shows a home security camera in a sleeping living room. A faint, shimmering outline, barely discernible as human-shaped, seems to drift through the room, passing directly through a closed bookcase. It doesn't walk, it simply glides, distorting a light around it like heat haze before vanishing into the wall opposite. No alarms trigger, no door or window is breached, and nothing is disturbed. The homeowners awaken to a perfectly ordinary morning, unaware of the silent, spectral passage through their most intimate space. Was this a malfunction, a trick of the sensor, or a glimpse into a layer of reality we are simply not meant to perceive? Finally, we arrive at the static anomaly, perhaps the most visually disturbing of all. A remote wildlife camera set deep in an untamed forest is meant to capture the movements of local fauna. For weeks, it performs flawlessly. Then, one night, the entire frame begins to ripple. It's not standard interference. The image distorts, stretches, and folds in on itself as if the very air is being compressed by an unseen force. Colors shift unnaturally, outlines blur into impossible shapes, and for a terrifying 10 seconds, the forest itself appears to melt and reconstitute before snapping back to a perfectly normal, silent shot of the trees, No storm, no earthquake, no known atmospheric phenomenon could account for this visceral, terrifying visual event. What unseen energy surge, what unknown entity could warp digital light and time in such a profound way? These recordings stand as stark reminders that our understanding of the world, and indeed what constitutes reality, might be far more fragile than we care to admit. They peel back the veil just enough to show us something truly beyond our comprehension, leaving us to wonder what other impossible moments flicker silently on countless cameras, unwatched and eternally unexplained.